Hey guys, and welcome back to The Blissful Athlete. Thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about alcohol and my path of consuming alcohol to quitting in my 20s. For those of you that know my story, you're aware that I was an ice hockey player and I grew up playing hockey and so I lived that lifestyle. And when I was younger, I didn't drink really. I drank I think 2 times throughout high school, which was completely abnormal, I want to say. There's a majority of people that would drink quite often, but I was so focused on being a good hockey player and getting to the next level and taking my game to a whole new height that I was willing to cut out whatever was necessary, and that meant drinking. And so I decided not to go out and party with friends, and I stayed focused on my training and staying healthy. And so until I was 18, I really didn't drink. I think I drank twice until I was 18 years old. But once I got to a high level of competition, I made it to junior A hockey, and I moved out from my hometown that I grew up in, and I was in a new city, and I was a bit of a star in the city that I was playing in. That whole world was shown to me, and I had my fun. I certainly liked to party. I enjoyed hanging out with the guys, chasing girls around. All of that was really fun. And it got to a point where we would play a couple games on the weekend, and then I knew that after that Saturday game, I was going out and I was going to drink and I was going to get after it with the boys. And unfortunately, that process became more and more serious, and it got to a point where I enjoyed drinking even more so than actually playing the game. And what happened was my play started to slowly decline, and at the time I was able to get a scholarship, and I played NCAA Division I hockey in Providence. But what had happened was as my on-ice performance went lower and lower, my confidence in myself overall just started dipping down, and I just had more joy, and I enjoyed life more every time I would go drinking. So I'd literally look forward to drinking on Saturday night. The whole week was built up to that, and it got to a point where I could not wait to get to the bar. And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of athletes out there. And there's a lot of people that want to be professional athletes or be a high performance athlete, but they go out and they drink at least 1 to 2 times a week, and they think that they're going to go somewhere. But I want those guys to know that you're kidding yourselves, and female bodies as well. You're kidding yourself if you think that you could be a high performance athlete and get to the next level by drinking and going out and staying out late and partying with your friends. And so there's so many negative effects that happen to the body, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I wish I knew now what I knew then, because ultimately my game would be at a completely different level. And my physical body, I didn't realize it, but it was dipping down, and that's because all the things that happen to the body. When you drink, you're literally killing brain cells. You're destroying your liver. You're destroying your body's ability to read and react. Your coordination, your motor skills, your ability to recover. The body is just completely in this survival mode. Every ounce of alcohol that you drink, it takes 4 ounces of fluid out of you. So rehydrating yourself after every game or after every performance takes time. It takes due diligence, and so there's all these negative effects that happen, and ultimately it comes down to recovery and your effects on the ice through poor mental conditioning. You're not able to focus the way that you used to, and ultimately play the way that you want to play, and play the way that you need to play, because playing at a high level of performance, or a high performance level, playing professionally, it's not a joke. You need to be on point. You need to know exactly what you're doing in every moment, and you need to be able to take quick looks and make sharp decisions and be completely aware. Your body needs to be on that same level. You need to have a high performance body that is just raring to go, and it's perfectly fine-tuned. So if you went out 3 nights before, or even 4 or 5 nights before, your body is still feeling the effects of that time that you were out with the boys drinking. And ultimately what that means is you're not going to perform the way that you could have. Now, yeah, this might be a little bit of an increment where it doesn't affect you too much, but ultimately what it takes to separate yourself from another athlete is just that little bit, right? And so if you're an athlete out there and you want to get to the next level, you have to drop drinking. There's no question about it. For me, it took me a while to clue in the fact that I had to stop drinking, and I realized the importance of not drinking as a professional athlete, but that really wasn't the main reason why I did it. It just got to a point where I was like, really? Like, this is it? You know, after night going out, weekend after weekend, and the same thing happening over and over, and, you know, getting shit-faced and then coming back and just like waking up and feeling like absolute crap in the morning. All of that it just got so redundant and so old, and I finally was just like, really, is like this what it's all about? And I had this moment where I was just like, why am I doing this? And I just flat out quit one day. I started to realize the purpose of life, and I started to look past the game. I started to think of something else beyond hockey, and I started to ultimately have this spiritual awakening where I realized that the purpose of life is not to, you know, achieve anything in the physical body. It's actually to go beyond the physical body and to experience your true self, your atma, as we call it in yoga. And when I went through that, and when I started to have these realizations, it was just like all these things started fading away, and with that was drinking. And it was hard at first, you know. I felt like out of place going to the bars and going out with the team to team dinners. Everybody else would be having their drinks, and I felt almost embarrassed to get a non-alcoholic drink. And so what I would do sometimes is I would get a Coke, and I would pretend that it had a mix in there, and or I'd even have a beer, and I'd have it just by my hand and pretend like I was drinking. And that helped me transition at first, but ultimately what made me get to a new level was and have a breakthrough was just coming out with it and saying, yeah, like I'm done drinking, like I had my fun. And when I did that, I noticed that a lot of other guys, like, they'd have that moment where they're like, huh, you know, like they had this, like, yeah, they might chirp you and make fun of you a little bit, but ultimately they questioned what they were doing as well. And I feel blessed to have had that opportunity to decide, you know what, I'm not going to drink anymore, and have the courage to say that to other guys. And so if you're out there and you're worried about, you know, what other people might think, or you're worried about how it'll be at the bar, because I mean, ultimately when you're there and everybody's absolutely shit-faced and you're sober, it's like you're in a different world, and you start to realize how stupid people are and how stupid partying can be, and you just want to leave. And so just know that it's fine, you know, that there's not a big deal, and there's nothing wrong with not drinking. I have so much respect for anybody that chooses to not drink, especially be around other athletes or other beings that are consuming alcohol. But ultimately what you will realize is that it's just so stupid and it's pointless. And so you can either stop drinking now at, you know, 15, 16, 17, 18, or if you're in your 20s, or you can keep drinking and see how that affects you in in 20 years. And ultimately what you'll realize if you do is that your body's going to be absolute shit, because you're just beating it up every time that you go out and drink with everybody. And so ultimately I definitely recommend that you guys at least give it a shot and see how your body feels. Do a 1 month challenge. Do a 1 month challenge without drinking, and then see how your body feels. Because we often forget how that feels because we go out drinking so much. So, but I won't rant on, guys. I want you guys to just know that it's a normal process to be drinking and then kind of stepping back and realizing, hey, like, this isn't something that's meant for me. And ultimately you'll realize that there's so much more out there in life. And ultimately that's what happened with me too. Much of my story, I had this spiritual awakening. I learned about meditation and consciousness, and eventually met my guru. And so I've never been in a better space, both physically and mentally and spiritually as well. So if you guys are interested in quitting drinking, or you want a little support, or you want to talk about it, feel free to comment on the section below. I'd love to help you guys out if there's anything I can do. And yeah, well, we'll leave it at that. But as always, guys, be blissful and look forward to seeing you at the next video.